Let's call the March 12th School Board meeting to order. First will be a Pledge of Allegiance, led tonight by our staff attorney, Sarah Page. Thank you, Ms. Page. Would the audience join us in a moment of silence? Thank you. Okay. First is approval of the consent agenda. Approval of the agenda, I'm sorry.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Thank you. Second? Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, Mr. Spurlock. Next is visitors. Rena Hall.
Sienna Hall.
Sienna Hall.
Hi again, I'm Sienna Hall, 111 Ridge Park Court. I'm here as a concerned parent, teacher, and Rutherford County Executive Board, or Rutherford Education Association Executive Board member. Concerned about the coronavirus, obviously. I'm no alarmist, but I have been staying informed. And experts are saying that mass testing and social distancing are the ways to prevent the spread. We, of course, have no control over the testing situation, but we do have control over social distancing in our community. We don't know for sure how many people in Tennessee have coronavirus based on the fact that there's been a lack of testing. We don't know how many people in Rutherford County may have coronavirus. What we do know is that the kids in our schools don't always wash their hands. Hand sanitizer has been hard to come by. High school level kids will come to school sick so they don't have to take their final exams. We've seen sports organizations and college institutions closing their doors and shutting down to support the efforts to prevent the spread. I hear that Governor Lee declared a state of emergency in Tennessee. You all have agreed that we don't need to have mass gatherings at school and after school activities and such based on the cancellation that we just got this afternoon. And yet we are still planning on going to school tomorrow. So my question is, what are we waiting for? Don't we want to be part of the solution, not part of the problem? Thank you.
Thank you. If anybody'd like to stay during the director's update, he's going to update that later in the meeting. Okay, spotlight, art recognition.
Yeah, we're very excited to have all of our students here representing all the schools throughout Rutherford County. And Ms. Halford's going to come up and tell us a little bit about it.
Good evening, board. Good evening, everyone here. We are here tonight to celebrate some amazing student artists from Rutherford County. If you've walked through our building in the past few weeks, you may have noticed that the halls were looking particularly bare as we shifted last year's artwork out and put new artwork in. And I can't tell you how many people have walked through the halls in the past week or so and gone, oh, thank goodness the art is back. We are so glad to have something to look at. It really brightens up the day of those of us who work here and everyone who visits here. We even had a visitor come in the other day and ask if she could purchase some of the artwork because it was so excellent. So we're very proud of our students. And we're so glad that years ago, our Human Resources Department decided that it would be a good use of our space here to house some of the most excellent artwork that our students create every year. So every year, each school sends 1 or 2 pieces, and we decorate our hallways with the most excellent work that is chosen from each school. So tonight we're here to celebrate these students' talent, their hard work, and their creative spirit. And so what will happen is we have some certificates for the students. Dr. Anthony is going to help me with that. So students, I'm going to call your name. When I do that, you'll come up and receive your certificate from Dr. Anthony, and then we'll make a line here right in front of the board tables, and that is so parents, we can have some photo ops, some picture opportunities here. So names will be called, you'll receive your certificate and come up in front of the board. And then traditionally we release the parents and students to go and view the artwork after those names are called. So without further ado, here are our 2020 Rutherford County Central Office student artists. Luna Harmon from Barfield Elementary School. Kylie Winfrey from Blackman Elementary School. Emma Rudsill from Blackman High School. Isabella Commodore from Blackman High School. Lily Gainey from Blackman High School. Kota Kurihara from Blackman High School. Emily McCollum from Blackman High School. Morgan Rudsill from Blackman High School. Tegan Tinchinor from Blackman High School. Paige Frederick from Blackman Middle School. Peyton Galligan, Browns Chapel Elementary School. Emily Matthews, Buchanan Elementary School. Emma McAdams, Cedar Grove Elementary School. Jada Griffin, Cedar Grove Elementary School. Gus Dunaway, Central Magnet School. Anastasia Splavlova from Central Magnet School. Codis Gary, Christiana Elementary School. Abby McWhorter, Christiana Middle School. Annika Anderson, Eagleville School. Kenya Murray, Eagleville School. Bella Tucker, Eagleville School. Rylan Randall, Eagleville School. Mallory Lawyer, Eagleville School. Mariah Miller, Eagleville School. Valeria Fragoso, Holloway High School. Caroline Russell, Homer Pitter Campus School. Yamil Reyes Pineda, John Coleman Elementary School. Preston Collins, Kittrell Elementary School. Rory Gammon, Las Casas Elementary School. Victoria Osere, Laverne High School. Davian Taylor, Laverne High School. Cup Van, Laverne Lake Elementary School. Tristiana Charlemagne, Laverne Middle School. Delilah Young, Laverne Primary School. Brady Moore, McFadden School of Excellence. Alec Moon Pantavong, Oakland High School. Ramsey Dimmitt, Oakland High School. Amelia Bowman, Oakland Middle School. Eli Ward, Riverdale High School. Carly Taylor, Rock Springs Elementary School. Alexa Flores, Rock Springs Middle School. Bella Longa Robinson, Rock Springs Middle School. Noah Reynolds, Rockville Elementary School. Lizzie Stefaniak, Rockville High School. Layla Gowan, Rockville High School. Kenneth Harper, Rockville High School. Isabella Kongsesi, Rockville Middle School. Revelation James, Rocky Fork Elementary School. Kenyon Dietz, Rocky Fork Middle School. Ximena Jimenez, Roy Waldron School. Audrey Wallace, Siegel High School. Cameron Howard, Siegel High School. Ella Pontavongsa, Siegel High School. Leah McLaughlin, Siegel High School. Anna McKenzie, Siegel Middle School. Marco Vargas, Smyrna Elementary School. Miguel Rodriguez, Smyrna High School. Now Paul, Smyrna High School. Melanie Olvera Lugo, Smyrna Middle School. Bung Thuong, Smyrna Primary School. Brony Donaldson, Stewartsboro Elementary School. Anastasia Walter, Stewartsboro Elementary School. Dame Zazworski, Stewarts Creek Elementary School. Maisie Langlois, Stewarts Creek High School. Callan Constable, Stewarts Creek Middle School. Rosalind Yornet Esrobar, Thurman Francis Arts Academy. Van Breedlove, Thurman Francis Arts Academy. Emma Hooten, Walter Hill Elementary School. Marley Menk, Whitworth Buchanan Middle School. Aladrea Lawrence, Whitworth Buchanan Middle School. And Mia Raphael, Wilson Elementary School. Students, stay where you are for just a moment while your parents have an opportunity to take pictures, and then you'll be able to go see your artwork. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Grrr. I was getting an award. I believe I'd be here on time.
Hey, how you doing? How you been doing, man? Who you got here with you? Is that right? Well, what's been going with you? Are you? That's right. What? Unreal. Is that right? Man, you look like you raised it up. So it's good to see you, man. Yeah, don't be a stranger. That's right. That's right. Hey, buddy, you take care of yourself, okay? All right, bye. There's a lot of them. I'll tell you what now,
It's just a matter of days, Lee will be closing the whole state as far as schools go. I think Ohio's government already did theirs. Getting too much outside pressure.
you're probably right.
All right, Mr. Spurlock, let's move on with our signing bonus incentive.
All right. Number 8 is the signing bonus incentive for hard-to-staff subject area. You can find it on tab 2. The signing bonus incentive for hard and staff areas are submitted to the state each year and is presented for the board for approval. We went over these on Tuesday. We did see that we added an additional area where our student teachers that will be doing $1,000, $500, and $500 in the spring, correct? As long as they sign with, what was the date on that?
April 1st.
Okay, good.
Many have so far. They're coming in the door.
And I
Talked to
think-
them this week.
And I think the great news was the over 90% retention rate. The teachers were doing very well.
Growth in
And that's what our goal is: recruit, retain, and grow. So, motion to approve a signing bonus incentive for hard-to-staff areas, subjects, areas for the 2020-2021 school year is presented.
Okay, any questions? Have a motion?
Move to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Second. Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 9.
Our number 9 is the Advantage X Pro renewal agreement that's found on tab 3. Rutherford County Schools currently contracts with Advantage XPO for substitute teacher services. Advantage XPO wishes to maintain the current bill rate and contract for the 2020-21 school year. Motion to approve the renewal of Advantage XPO contract for substitute teacher services for the 2020-2021 school year.
Comments or questions? Have a motion? Thank you. Second? Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 10.
All right, number 10 is Todd Nesloney contract with Kittrell Elementary School, found on tab 4. Presenter Todd Nesloney will lead professional development on book Kids Deserve It, Pushing Boundaries and Challenging Conventional Thinking. This will be at Kittrell Elementary School on June the 15th of 2020. The training would include topics such as teaching the whole child in a safe and healthy learning environment, making an impact in the lives of our students, and strategies for innovative instruction to raise achievement in all students. The cost will not exceed $7,500, and it includes all travel and fees for the presenter, and it will be funded through Kittrell's Title I funds. Will pay for 100% of the cost for this training. Motion to approve the contract between Todd Nesloney and Kittrell Elementary for professional development training for Over Kids Deserve It.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Have a second. Thank you. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 11.
Our number 11 is the curriculum and instruction. CTE department would like to allocate approximately $13,010 of the Perkins 2019-2020 funds to support Rutherford Works ambassador leads in 22 of our middle and high schools. The purpose of this Rutherford Works ambassador leads would be to develop the instructional capacity of our teachers, our counselors, our assistant principals within our district to support the Rutherford Works partnership. The leads would be responsible for attending in-person meetings and implementing the following opportunities at their schools: work ethic distinction, youth science, work-based learning, industry tours, Jump Start Job Fair, 8th grade career pathway fair, and the HCT Work Keys Assessment. The allocations are, for each participant will receive $500 stipend for attendance and participation in the professional development sessions led by Rutherford Works and the CTE Curriculum and Instruction Department. As you can see, there's 22 ambassadors there. Motion to approve allocating approximately $13,010 of Perkins funds to support the Rutherford Works ambassador leads at 22 of our middle and high schools. Each participant will receive $500 stipend for the attendance, participation in professional development sessions about Rutherford Works and the curriculum and instruction in CTE department. Schools allocated number of participants is 11 middle schools and 11 high schools to support teacher and student success.
Okay. Any questions? Have a motion?
Move to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 12.
All right, 12 is the instructional materials on the state-approved list. This would include Criminal Justice 1, the title Introduction to Criminal Justice, and this publisher is Cengage. Criminal Justice 2, the title is Introduction to Policing. Cengage is the publisher. Culinary Arts 4, the Culinary Professional, the publisher is Goodhart and Wilcox. Culinary Arts 3, ICEV, Culinary Art is the book title, and the publisher is CEV. Instructional materials that are not on the state-approved list was Criminal Justice 3, the book title is Forensic Science, Fundamentals in Investigation by Cengage. Culinary Arts 1, Foundation of Restaurant Management in Culinary Arts, Level 1, publisher is National Restaurant Association. Culinary Arts 2, the Foundation of Restaurant Management in Culinary Arts is a Level 2. The publisher is National Restaurant Association. Pre-Law 1, the textbook title is Street Law. Publisher is McGraw-Hill. Pre-Law 2 and 3, Introduction to Law is the title, and Cengage is the publisher. There were no state-approved texts on the adoption list for these courses. The course had no resources submitted for initial Section B of committee review that took place during the summer of 2019. The local CTE Section E Instructional Materials Committee requested and reviewed the materials above and determined that they would meet the requirements set forth by the LEA Instructional Materials Waiver Instrument, thus allowing them to be used in CTE courses. Motion to approve the following career and technical education instructional materials for use in CTE courses beginning in June 1 of 2020 through June 30 of 2026.
Questions? Have a motion?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 13.
Our 13s are our camps, curriculum instruction, summer usage of facilities for information only. These are the camps will be held throughout Rutherford County. They'll be put on by our teachers and staff. The students will be charged a specific price for each one of these camps, and that is to pay for not only for the instructor, but also for the materials that will be provided. As you can see, there's quite a few of them, some pretty good camps there.
Okay. Any questions on that?
I do, just curious, because it's got the capacity on them. Will those be filled on a first-come, first-served basis then, or will there be some kind of selection
There'll be a
criteria
first- I
if we
think-
have more?
Is it first come, first served?
Okay, thank you.
Is that just for information?
That's just for information.
Okay. Number 14.
All right, number 14 is textbook adoption found on tab 5. The school systems are required to submit textbook adoptions annually on forms provided by the Tennessee Department of Education. The elementary, middle, and high school textbook committees are recommending the purchase of the English language arts textbooks listed below for use beginning the 2020-2021, and it will last through 2025 through 2026 school year. In grade bands K through 5 for ELA, English Language Arts, the textbook title, Our Expeditionary Learning, was the choice. The publisher is Open Up. In ELA 6 through 8, the textbook title is Amplify ELA. The publisher is Amplify. In ELA 9 through 12, My Perspectives, the publisher is Pearson. Creative Writing, the 4 genres in brief, in the 3rd edition was Bedford. AP Seminar, A World of Ideas, Essential Readings for College Writers, the 11th edition, Bedford is the publisher. AP Language, The Language of Composition, the 3rd edition was Bedford. And AP Literature, Literature and Composition, the 2nd edition is Bedford. Motion to approve the English Language Arts textbook adoption for elementary, middle, and high schools as presented.
Any questions? Have a motion?
Move to approve.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 15.
All right, 15 is the Rutherford County Schools JROTC Distinguished Leader Graduate Award. The Instruction Department would like to offer a JROTC Distinguished Leader Graduate Award to qualifying seniors upon graduation. The award would consist of a certificate, a specific diploma seal, and an identifying distinguishing leader cord or sash at the graduation ceremony. Qualifications for the students to receive the award are included. Motion to approve the JROTC Distinguished Leader Graduate Award beginning with the 2020-2021 school year.
Anyone have any questions on that? Have a motion?
So moved, sir.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 16.
All right, 16 is our Rutherford County Virtual School. For the discussion, what we are wanting to do is one of our goals was to have a K-12 virtual school. We've done some studying on this. Currently, in Rutherford County, we have 1,670 homeschool students. Many of those are being homeschooled for various reasons. They generally go and get their own curriculum, use their own curriculum, and some can still do that. We've looked at the cost analysis of it. If we was to recapture the minimum of 25%, we would have more than enough to, not only to pay for the program, but to provide funding for the materials that may necessary. We've looked at several of our vendors, and we have not finished with that. Our next step is we're going to send out a survey, I think, or we're going to reach out to our current homeschoolers.
Correct.
Tell us a little bit I know I've talked to you about it, but
Right.
give us a little overview of what we're
So our next step is to, if this is for discussion, is to have our actual school approved. It has to be approved by the board. Or we have a list of checklists that we have to do, just like you were opening a brand new school. You have a checklist of things you have to do because this would have its own school numbers we talked about the other night. Once that was approved, then we would reach out and just provide information to our parents that are in our community that currently have homeschool students who have registered with us to tell us that's where they're having their homeschool served, and then just tell them that this is an option that we now are providing for them. That's not something that they have to do, but it's another option that they can do. It's not something they have to pay for.
We're probably one of the few systems, I'm probably the only system our size that does not have a virtual school. We talked about Robertson County actually even has some of our students. And I think in the conversation with Dr. Causey, he said he understood that we may recapture those
Right, they have a different route. They have a virtual school, a charter school actually is a virtual school, and that's not the route we're looking to go. We're looking to just with our own students, but they have such a large enrollment. If we were to gain our 200 students back that are going to Robertson County's virtual school, they would be able to fill theirs back. So that's why they were happy to share with us.
And that's what they're doing. They're doing the surrounding counties, so that's what the charter exists of. But you know, it's probably long over. Well, it's not probably. It is long overdue. This is another opportunity to provide opportunities for some students that would work better in that environment. I mean, whether they're medically fragile, whether they've had issues and things of that nature. Now, one of the things was brought up about this coronavirus. Can we not put them all online? We've got 48,000 kids. We do not have the bandwidth or the capacity. We do not, in some of our rural areas, the Wi-Fi is lacking. So our structure is not built for that at this time. However, I think adding this virtual school provides a lot of options that we've been discussing that would help our kids. And I think that's what we're all here for. We're here for looking at ways that we can provide other opportunities for our students that may not be the traditional way. And when I look at 1,670 students, I would like to think that we could do something to help a majority of them. Maybe not all, but a majority.
Okay. All right, disciplinary hearing appeals.
We have 3 appeals. Am I reading that correctly? 3 appeals? We do have 3 appeals. They're all 3 from Rockville High School. The board has requested to review all of these 3, found on tabs 6, 7, and 8, to review the decision of the disciplinary hearing authority. The 4 things that we can do under the board policy, what they were remanded for, 6.313. Under that review, you can do the following. You can, number 1, affirm the decision of the DHA. You can overturn the decision of the DHA. You can modify the decision to a lesser penalty, or 4, you can grant a hearing before the board. So with that said, under those 4, a question is being asked to what you would like to do with that. So I'll take it from, you can take it from there, with those choices of the 4. We can take them one at a time, or however you want to do it.
What's the wishes of the board?
I would think that they would need to be voted on separately.
Yes.
Okay. All right, on the first one, the board has been requested to review the decision of disciplinary hearing. This is found on tab 6. The board has been requested to review the decision of the disciplinary hearing authority, DHA, to uphold the remandment of the student from Rockville High School. The student was remanded to the alternative school under board policy 6.313. Based on the review of DHA's record, the board may do the following: affirm the decision, overturn the decision, modify the decision to a lesser penalty, or grant a hearing before the board.
Have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, can I ask for clarification? All 3 of these are from Rockville, so how do we know which one is which?
The first one should be found on tab 6. Was that not indicated in that way?
We were given hard copies, but they weren't, I guess, on.
Ms. Page, can you give us clarification?
I labeled them for you all virtually so that we can make sure that we're voting on the right ones. I apologize for that, board members. I'm gonna make sure I match what I sent you. And I will give initials to help us ascertain which one we're talking about, so that way we can keep confidentiality of the student. The first appeal is going to be the packet that the initials would be the first 3 letters of the first name are SHY. To expedite this, I'll go ahead and give you all of them as you mark. Thank you. The second appeal will be the first 3 letters of the name are SHA. third is ZB.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Was everyone able to find theirs?
Was that?
Got them in order now? Okay,
Okay, we got FHY.
yes.
FHY, we can, you can affirm the decision of DHA, overturn the decision of the DHA, modify the decision to a lesser penalty, or grant a hearing before the board.
Have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would move to affirm the decision of the DHA on this case.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, the second one, am I hearing this FHA?
Yes.
It's
Okay.
SHA, Mr. Spurlock.
S?
That's right.
Okay, I'm sorry, I can't hear that well. The board has been requested to review the decision of the disciplinary hearing authority to uphold the remand of the student from Rockville High School. The student was remanded to alternative school under board policy 6.313. Based on a review of the DHA's record, the board may affirm the decision, overturn the decision, modify the decision to a lesser penalty, or grant a hearing before the board.
Have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would move to affirm the decision of the DHA.
Thank you. Second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
All right, the last one, the board has been requested to review the decision of the disciplinary hearing authority to uphold the remandment of the student from Rockville High School. The student was remanded to the alternative school under board policy 6.313. Based on the review of the DHA's record, the board may do the following: affirm the decision, overturn the decision, modify the decision to a lesser penalty, or grant a hearing before the board.
Have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I want to affirm the decision of the DHA. Thank them for their service.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. Affirm the decision on all of them. All right. Payroll.
All right, financial matters. Tab 9, non-payroll budget amendment within major expenditure functions in the general purpose school fund. This is a routine cleanup of non-payroll budget amendment within major functions to true up funds within departments in order to assist with next year's budget preparation, as well as assist with the current year budget control. Departments that needed additional funds or revenue to balance out their expenditure overages were the following departments: coordinated health for the walking track grant expenditure, attendance office for the new student management software expense, and transportation department for an additional bus camera equipment purchase and installation expense. The attendance office and the transportation office budget overages will be offset by additional lease revenue we receive, and the coordinated health additional funding grant will come from additional grant funds. Motion to approve the cleanup, non-payroll within major expenditure functions and a budget with a budget amendment.
Any questions? Have a motion? Thank you. Second? Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Number 2.
All right, we have another non-payroll budget amendment to move funds between the two major expenditure functions for CTE and to move restricted funds out of fund balance into the general purpose school fund. This is the second cleanup non-payroll budget amendment for CTE program that moves funds between the two CTE major functions, instructional and support, an additional non-payroll cleanup to move funds from United Way, Jennings Jones Foundation, Smyrna Rotary Club, and to budget for expenditure of funds as requested and directed by the donors of Smyrna West Alternative School for staff development, needy children clothing, and teacher recognition, district-wide spectrum program for the gifted program and staff development, and district-wide clothing for needy school children through the attendance office here. With the movement of the funds between the two major expenditure functions, as well as out of the fund balance, this amendment cannot be on the county commission's consent agenda. Therefore, it's a separate from the first cleanup budget amendment. Motion to approve the non-payroll budget amendment as presented.
Question? Have a motion?
Move to approve.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, number 3.
Number 3 is an amendment for fiscal year 1920 from Fund 177, our Educational Capital Project Fund. This amendment is to move available funds to additional needed capital projects as detailed in the enclosed capital project funds plan. Additional work includes refinishing 2 additional school gymnasium floors and the needed interior renovations at the Smyrna Teacher Training Center, which, by the way, will be opening, what's the date? April the 7th. I think we'll be getting out invitations, or we may already have. Yes. Okay. All right, motion to approve the amendment to move the available funds to additional needed capital projects as presented.
Question?
The 2 additional school gymnasiums, just asking, what are they? Do you, or is it just, is? It would have been the first 2 that we would have done next year. Okay. That didn't want to cause a problem. I was just.
Someone here.
Blackman High and Wilson.
Mr. Chairman, I do have a question.
No, I just want to know which
I
one.
would like to just know what the dollar, the anticipated price tag on this one is.
How much were the 2, how much are we talking about?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Hodge. Second?
Second.
Mr. Young. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 4.
All right, number 4 is the 2020-2021 E-rate Tennessee Education Broadband Consortium contracts. Category 1, the extension of the TEBC contract number 49001 to AT&T Corporation to continue providing internet access and wide area network services. The district's annual cost with the E-rate discount of 60% is $296,561. Category 2, the TEBC contract number 49083 to Central Technologies Incorporated for fiber products, installation, and related network equipment for 22 elementary schools. The district cost for this E-rate discount of 60% is $496,634. Now, Mr. Boder, you told me if we did not receive those discounts, total, what would that be?
The total cost for the Category 1 is $727,578, and that's for the internet connectivity, basically everything to do with the phone systems and the internet circuits, it's monthly recurring costs. And then the Category 2 is tangible items, including install costs like cabling, fiber installation inside the school, as well as one-time equipment costs, and that total for cost-eligible items is $1,223,887.
We get a pretty good discount there then.
60%.
We do. All right, motion to approve the 2020-21 E-rate TEBC contracts as presented.
Mr. Chairman, what was the amount on category 1?
Total project cost is 727,578. It's on page 2 of the contract on the E-rate.
Okay. Well, I was just asking about category 1 by itself. I don't, he didn't read the figure. I'm not, his figure's probably right, but he didn't read the figure that's on mine.
60% would, of that amount would be 296,561.
There's you're looking at that 705 on that page. There's another, that 24,713. There were some additions right at the last minute that they said they would allow.
So we're adding to the 296,000?
No, that's that amount right there.
Oh, you're talking about there,
Yes.
including that in a discount?
It's on there.
Okay.
Any other questions? Have a motion? Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Resolution relating to TEA matters.
If the board recalls, we had representatives of the TA come to the last board meeting and asked for the board's support of 2 resolutions that they had adopted regarding educational matters in Tennessee. The substance of those 2 I'll read to you, and you had one with respect to 10 Ready data and one with respect to funding. But with respect to 10 Ready data, the resolution substance was, we respectfully ask the State and General Assembly to pause the use of TN Ready data in regard to students, teachers, and schools for the foreseeable future until the Department of Education is able to work collaboratively with school systems and educators to address the challenges of TN Ready and its proper role in Tennessee public education. So that was the substance of one of the 2 resolutions. The second resolution was in school funding, and the substance of that was, we respectfully ask the Governor and General Assembly to increase funding for public education to bring Tennessee to the Southeast average of per-student investment and lift Tennessee out of the bottom 10 states in public school funding. Those were the substance of the 2 resolutions they were presenting to the board. And the board has a couple of options about how the board may want to go about considering these for action. What you have before you, you have 2 resolutions which have basically taken the TEA resolutions and incorporated them into 2 resolutions of the board. So that's one option. So you could adopt these resolutions they have proposed as your own resolutions here tonight. The other option, so that's one option. So the second option is to do a resolution, which I can submit to you guys for signature later, which says that the Board of Education is supportive of the TEA's resolutions in regard to both these matters and would do whatever action the TEA asks to indicate its support of the same before the state of Tennessee to the legislature and to the governor's office. So those are 2 options that you would have to consider these. I'm not sure if the TEA has a preference or REA members have a preference one way or the other. That's something that the board can take up to discuss tonight.
Thank you for that, Mr. Reed. My understanding is what you've presented us with, there were some tweaks and changes, but they're in essence still the same
Correct.
content of the resolutions. And that was, I guess, my question for the REA, and I'm sure there's somebody here that can answer it tonight. It would be, because I certainly am in support of these resolutions, whether or not the REA wanted to see us adopt one just supporting yours, or if you preferred to see us adopt our own. I mean, since this is in support of them and what they've put before us, you know, my preference would be what they want to see us do.
Is there a deadline now? I know that they were going to be presenting money, and since that's been canceled, where do we stand as far as time frame?
No, there's no particular deadline on that at this point.
Is there any way that we could kind of do a combination of both of those then, to do our own board resolutions, if indeed the board decides that that's how we want to move forward, but perhaps incorporate a line into these that in support of the local, REA and TEA's request, the board, in whatever
We can,
language, am I making sense?
yes, I certainly prepare that, and we could submit that at the next board meeting, and we can take that up at the next board meeting.
That way you kind of get
Yes.
the best of both, so.
I didn't hear the answer on the deadline. There is no deadline? Okay.
There was an event Monday that they were going to attend and present these, but that's been canceled.
Okay. I would assume, and I think maybe Mr. Hodge brought this out last meeting, I'm not sure, but I believe I think every single item on here, on both of these resolutions, this board and the past board, and maybe the one before that, has asked for all of these items. Now, I know, as Ms. Moore pointed out to me before we started, it's a new legislative year, and we do have some new people. I recognize all that. But I think we can say, and I would be for, I don't really care, but I would be for just supporting these and go with that because they're well stated. But if the board wants to add something or whatever, I think that would be fine as well. But we haven't had a lot of success, as you're aware, in getting them to listen over the years. Now, I would say that maybe things are a little better now than they were, say, 3 or 4 years ago. And I'm amused, particularly, amused is not the right word, but on the Tennessee Ready data, I mean, if there's one thing that they have proven here, is that they can't do this. They can't do it whether we leave them alone or not. They continually struggle with this. And so I guess we can, to ask them to stop doing it at all, it may not work, but I'm okay. And thank you for your leadership, by the way.
So, you wanted to add a statement to these? Is that correct?
I think that's my recommendation. Again, since we can do it either way, that we kind of try to incorporate the ones that Mr. Reed has presented us with as the board's own resolutions, but that it be a statement be incorporated in there that recognizes the fact that we are doing these resolutions in support of the REA. And I assume that this came from the TEA also, or, okay. Mr. Reed's indicated, I guess, that we could.
What do you want
Yeah,
to
we
add?
can, I can bring it out at the next board meeting and have that drafted, and you can have it beforehand and look at it and make sure you're okay with the language to it and consider it at the next board meeting.
Next board meeting is 24th and 26th, correct? Is that going to be, because I don't think, has the rally been rescheduled yet? Will that be timely enough for the board to vote on this? That would be my preference then.
Well, we could vote on it that night and everybody sign it that night.
Correct.
It'd be finished.
And for clarity, this is a resolution of both the TEA and REA? Okay.
Mr. Reed, that you could send us the redrafted language to look at before we come in for the board meeting that night, so that way we won't have to slow down the process?
Correct. We'll do that.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Reed. Okay, insurance,
No updates this time, but we are hoping at our meeting this month to get some new rates.
thank you. Director's update.
Yeah, we've been working with our local health department and meeting with our leadership team, going over everything about the coronavirus. As of 4 o'clock this afternoon, there have been 19 cases of the coronavirus has been identified. The breakdown is as following. Davidson County 6, Knox County 1, Shelby County 2, Sullivan County 1, Wilson County was the one that was just notified at 4 o'clock this afternoon, 1, and Williamson County 8. That's 19 cases. Tennessee has a population somewhere around 7 million. So if you want a point of reference there. I started, getting to talking to medical advisors, the health department, getting to know a little thing about this virus that we do know. One of the things we do know in terms of comparing it to influenza, influenza does not always, it's asymptomatic more. And quite frankly, when you're asymptomatic, you don't know you have it, and you can be a person that can spread the flu. Unlike COVID-19, the coronavirus, very seldom will it not manifest itself. In other words, you will know you're sick pretty much after you contract it. And because of that, you have a greater chance to avoid it. Now, what we do know, it's a challenge because we have over 47,600 and something kids, and we have them from 7 hours a day, which means that 17 other hours a day they're out and home and out and about. What we have been told to look for is obviously practice those good practices of hygiene, and even what we call coughing and sneezing etiquette, because that's how it's transferred. Now, we have looked at, we've been advised to look at where you hold large meetings indoors because it's easy to spread during that time. Outside, not so much. If there's a cough or a sneeze, if you're just not coughing on someone or sneezing on someone, it will dissipate into the air. We are taking steps each day to clean our desk. We're taking steps to clean our doorknobs. We're taking steps to clean everything that we can clean. One of the things that was stated is how we're running low on some of these things, and that's correct. That's absolutely correct. We are running low. What I want to do is present, we're doing something. We are doing something. Currently, Rutherford County does not have any cases that I know of, period, but definitely no cases that will directly tie back to the school. Now, there was some, a lot of rumors going around that at Nissan they had a couple of workers. That's not the truth. We've spoken to the people at Nissan. One of the things that may be confused with, and I don't know this to be the case, but your corporate headquarters of Nissan is located in Williamson County. I don't know that that's the case, but that could be the way the rumors got started. What we have to do is we have to trust. And I know it's kind of challenging sometimes for our parents. We got to trust our state and local health departments, along in conjunction with our emergency management people here in Rutherford County, because we have been having meetings. In the event that there is an outbreak, that directly back to the school, we'll be taking necessary precautions and going forward with that. Up to could be, but not necessarily, all school closings or just some school closings for a routine cleanup, if you will. Now, what we've got to do is we've got to stay vigilant. We have to make sure that we don't panic. A lot of things, it was brought up that Governor Lee declared it's an emergency, a state of emergency. He did, because of federal funds will flow to Tennessee a lot quicker to get ahead of this virus. Right now, what we need to do, because we know the incubation period is 2 weeks, we've got to keep keep from spreading. Now, what's going to occur now is you're going to have a lot of symptoms like I'm currently having with allergies. And you'll think that you have the coronavirus. Now, the coronavirus will also manifest a fever. So that's something that kind of will separate from with an allergy or just a common cold. 95% of people will get it, and it won't be anything like the flu, other than they will be a carrier until that virus has subsided. Now, what it is very challenging for is for those that have a compromised immune system that may be, sick and taking, maybe taking chemo or something like that. And we know for the elderly people that it can be an issue. Anyone that has a health impairment in addition to contracting the coronavirus. But what we've got to do is we got to make sure that what we're doing is preventing a spread. And once we identify, and it may happen, and we can't promise that, but all we can do is wait to see, take safety measures to make sure it doesn't occur, and see what occurs from there, and listen to what our health officials tell us. Now, I know a lot of systems have closed. I know one system, in fact, I won't call it, closed because they thought a kid may have it. The kid was tested, and come to find out he had a common cold. So they're opening back up. So what we can't do is we cannot, and keep in mind, this is not a death sentence. Now, we are going to be working with our medically fragile students. We'll be contacting our parents, and we'll be working with them. If there's some that have, autoimmune issues, we will work with them. We have the capacity to work with them. We have the capacity to work with them on their attendance and provide the instruction that they may need. But what I would strongly encourage is listen. I think Mr. Evans is going to be putting out another pamphlet. You may have already done that. Is that right? On our webpage?
Yes, sir, it's done, and it's been sent to parents.
It's a Q&A on there, too, for the parents, right?
Yes, sir.
It is. Okay, great. So what we've got to do is do our jobs. We're educators. This is not the first time we've faced something. If you all recall the H1N1, we've gone through a variety of different things. I think the unknown is the things that when you hear people closing, shutting down athletic events, the purpose of that is not because they're afraid somebody's going to contract it and die. They don't want to spread it. Okay, so that's the whole purpose of that. Right now, you've got professional sports closing down. You got things like that. What we've got to do is we've got to use this opportunity to make sure that we are making our parents feel as much as we possibly can, making our parents feel like we are doing something, which we are, and that we will be in tune with anything that changes, and this thing can be very fluid in terms of what's occurring.
Anyone have any questions on that?
Mr. Spurlock.
One of my sons goes to Riverdale High School. The other one's out in Webb. Webb's closed their schools today. MTSU has shut down their campuses. The reason they've stopped, the NBA games is to keep big groups of people from congregating together. I believe Riverdale High School has 2,000 kids, and I don't see why we should be waiting and just, I think that Rutherford County should shut down their schools for a few days to see how all this plays out. And you can call it over panicking, but you don't want to be the school system that didn't do anything, and you're running short on supplies, and these are our kids, and I really feel like that you should probably rethink this. And a week ago we didn't have any states, and now we got state of emergency in 13 states. It was 2 weeks ago wasn't even in the United States. So what I'm worried is that you're not going to see any signs for 5 to 6 days. That by that time, it may be too late. So that's just I'd like to just express that as a concerned parent.
Thank you. Board got any other questions?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I think maybe just to comment on one thing that he said, then go on to something else, asking the director to rethink this. I think it's a fair statement to say that you rethink it about 10 times a day. Would that be fair? I imagine this comes up frequently during the day. I sit before you as a veteran teacher of 31 years, and the first class that I ever taught, and I was 4 days out of college, 4. And then maybe a couple in-service days, and then I taught at a great place to go to school, Thurman Francis. It was really a wonderful environment, very overcrowded, however. And, but, you know, that's okay, we made it. My first class, I ask you to sympathize, and you can smile if you want to, 40 8th grade girls. That was my first class. Well, I made it. I'm surprised as you are, but I made it. That was before the flu shots. And I remember at some point, I think it was in the fall, of the 40 girls, there were 9 there. The rest of them were home with the flu. And the flu, as the director just said, is generally much more severe. But I just point that out, that we will get through this, and I think our director and the school system and this terrific staff over here will look at this on a daily basis. And I'm confident. I know some things have been canceled. On the other hand, many things have continued, including the TSSAA's girls basketball state tournament, where there were 15 to 20,000 people in the building. So I hope this turns out, and I think that it will, like we want it to. But I can assure you that our director and staff, and I haven't talked to him about it at all, but I think I can assure you that they're all over the signs of where this is going. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate that.
Okay. Tennessee Legislative Network. Johnson.
Just a few things this evening. Excuse me. All education bills were to be put on notice this week in the House and Senate. Final calendars are being prepared. We expect that in the next couple of weeks. As you know, Senator Dolores Gresham announced she will not be seeking re-election. She served on the Senate Education Committee as chairwoman since she was a freshman for 4 terms, which is quite a bit of time, actually. And the TSBA has asked for a call to action. House Bill 2869, Senate Bill 2180. This bill would require every LEA to accept transfer students from outside their district if there is space available. It would require you to max out your capacity without the ability to reserve space. They have asked that we contact our legislators regarding opposing that piece of legislation. It was in K-12 subcommittee calendar for 310. That was deferred to the 317 calendar, so there's still time to reach out to your legislators. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Ms. Johnson, question on the bill that you just mentioned. Do you know who the sponsors were?
I'm sorry, I do not.
Okay, were they anyone, as far as we know, anybody from Rutherford County?
I do not believe so.
Thank you.
Okay. Federal Relations Network, Ms. Sharp.
Nothing to report tonight, sir.
Thank you. General discussion? Okay, I did talk to Mr. Tackett. They're going to put on us about a 15-minute program on the 26th so we can learn a little bit more about another sport. So we do have a little over a year, about a year and a half, before it will come into effect. So I have to stay ahead of it a little bit. Anyone else?
Mr. Chairman, I just a mention, and I know it's been a long meeting, but there was a very interesting Senate education hearing yesterday. It lasted a couple of hours, and there was a period, I don't know, the board might be interested in going back and watching it, because there was a period of time where Senator Bell was doing some serious and significant questioning of our Commissioner of Education, and it was pretty interesting dialogue. So just thought I'd toss that out there.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else? We will have an executive session after this. No other business, we're adjourned.